Everyone knows George Strait as a legendary figure in country music, with a career that sparkles like a well-worn rhinestone. But here's a tidbit that might knock your cowboy boots off. The king of country credits a significant slice of his monumental success to a very special lady, the love of his life. Buckle up as we delve into the heartfelt confessions and surprising revelations from George Strait about the woman who stole his heart and helped steer his path to stardom, and why he almost quit music. George Harvey Strait Sr. was born on May 18, 1952, in the small town of Poteet, Texas, a place known for its strawberries and, as fate would have it, the birthplace of country music royalty. His parents, John Byron Strait Sr. and Doris Jean Cowser, certainly had no idea their son would grow up to become a living legend. Raised in nearby Pissell, Frio County, George's childhood was a blend of schoolbooks and saddle leather. His father, a junior high school math teacher by week and a cattle rancher on weekends, owned a sprawling 2,000-acre ranch outside of Big Wells, Texas. Life took a turn when George was in the 4th grade. His parents divorced, and his mother moved away with his sister, Pensy. This left George and his older brother, John Buddy Jr., to be raised by their father. Ranching became the Strait boys' way of life, with George often found alongside his brother and father, getting his hands dirty and his heart grounded in the Texan soil. But George's destiny wasn't confined to the ranch. During his high school days at Pissell High, he dipped his toes into the world of rock and roll. He joined a garage band named the Stoics, drawing inspiration from the Beatles and other British invasion bands. The Beatles were big, George once said. I listened to them a lot, and that whole bunch of groups that were popular then. Yet, it wasn't long before country music siren call pulled him in. Influenced by legends like Hank Thompson, Lefty Frizzell, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Bob Wills, Hank Williams, and even Frank Sinatra, George's musical tastes shifted. Interestingly, he wasn't a country music radio regular. Instead, he preferred tuning into the news and farmers' reports. His true introduction to country music came through live performances, Texas towns humming with the sounds of fiddles and guitars. Norma and George Strait's story began in the same small town in Texas. They attended the same high school, crossing paths daily without a second thought. They were just friends, until one day, George noticed something different about Norma. She had blossomed into a beautiful young woman, and suddenly, he couldn't get her out of his mind. Mustering up the courage, he asked her on a date. It was sweet and romantic, but surprisingly, George didn't ask her out again. They slipped back into being just friends, and it seemed that was where their story would end. Years passed without them seeing each other. George was falling in love, not with a girl, but with country music. He played in his band and threw himself into his burgeoning career. But fate had other plans. One day, George saw Norma with another guy, and jealousy hit him hard. He always thought Norma would be there, a constant in their small town. Realizing he could lose the girl of his dreams, George knew he had to act fast. Thankfully, Norma welcomed him back into her life, and they started dating again. This time, George didn't hesitate. He confessed that Norma was the first girl he ever loved, and soon after, the sweethearts exchanged vows in Mexico at just 19. It was the beginning of their new life together, full of hope and promise. But life threw a curveball right after their wedding when George enlisted in the U.S. Army and was shipped off to Hawaii. It was a challenging time, but they made it through. Within a year, they welcomed their first child, a daughter named Jennifer Lynn. 9 years later, their son, George Bubba Strait Jr., was born. These were golden years for the Strait family. George's career was taking off, and with his army band Ramblin' Country, he scored his first chart-making single, Unbound. The future looked bright. Tragedy struck on June 25, 1986, when Jennifer, at just 13, was killed in a one-car, alcohol-unrelated accident. Jennifer was riding in a Ford Mustang driven by Gregory Wilson Allen, 18, of Staples, Texas. The car, traveling at excessive speed, failed to negotiate a turn and flipped over, ejecting Jennifer from the vehicle and killing her on impact. The heartbreaking incident profoundly affected George, leading him to limit his interactions with the media and stop giving interviews for many years, and even wanting to quit music. The family was devastated. George has rarely spoken publicly about this painful event, but in 2012, he shared with People magazine that he and Norma felt blessed to have had 13 wonderful years with their daughter. To honor her memory, they started the Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation, supporting children's charities in San Antonio. Despite this heart-wrenching loss, George continued to make great music, releasing 11 consecutive #1 hits. However, tragedy struck again when George's older brother, John Byron Strait, died unexpectedly in 2009 at the age of 58 due to methadone toxicity and heart disease. George's road to fame wasn't easy. There were moments when he considered quitting music, but Norma encouraged him to persevere. His determination paid off when he signed a recording contract with MCA in February 1981. The initial agreement was for just one song, with the promise of an album if it did well. George's band, Ace in the Hole, stood by him, faithfully supporting his live shows and serving as his backing band for his solo career. Today, George and Norma celebrate a love that has endured through the best and worst of times. They've been married for over 50 years and are now proud grandparents, enjoying their big, loving family. Despite the grief and hardships, George's music continues to honor the memory of those he loved and lost, leaving a lasting legacy for future generations. George's career journey. After George Strait was honorably discharged from the Army in 1975, he took a step that might surprise those who only know him as a country music legend. He enrolled at Southwest Texas State University, now Texas State University, in San Marcos, trading in his military uniform for textbooks and lectures. Pursuing a degree in agriculture, George was laying the groundwork for a life deeply connected to the land, a theme that would resonate throughout his music career. Strait's dedication to his studies paid off when he graduated with his degree in agriculture. But his bond with the university didn't end there. In a heartfelt nod to his roots, Texas State University honored him with an honorary doctoral degree in a private ceremony on May 26, 2006. Imagine the scene: George Strait, a music icon, standing tall in academic regalia, celebrated for his contributions beyond the concert stage. But Strait's commitment to his alma mater went even further. In 1985, he established an endowment fund dedicated to the development and operation of the Freeman Ranch. This initiative wasn't just about agriculture, it also focused on land and wildlife management and provided scholarships. It's a legacy reflecting Strait's deep appreciation for education and the environment, ensuring future students benefit from his generosity. During his college years, George Strait stumbled upon a flyer that would change his life. It was posted around campus, seeking a new vocalist for the country band Stony Ridge. Answering the call, Strait not only joined the band, but quickly took charge, renaming the group to the Ace in the Hole Band. As the lead, he and his bandmate started playing at various honky-tonks and bars across South and Central Texas, even making their way to Huntsville and Houston. The band's regional following grew, and they found themselves opening for national acts like the Texas Playboys. Seizing the opportunity to make a mark, Strait and his band recorded several singles with the Houston-based independent label D Records. Among these were That Don't Change the Way I Feel About You and I Can't Go On Dying Like This, both penned by Strait himself. Despite their efforts, the songs didn't gain much traction. To make ends meet, Strait continued managing his family's cattle ranch during the day. While gigging with the band, Strait befriended Irv Woolsey, a bar owner who had previously worked for MCA Records. Woolsey saw potential in Strait and convinced his Nashville contacts to come down to Texas for a listen. The industry insiders were impressed with the performance but skeptical about the marketability of the band's Western swing sound, leaving without offering a deal. Undeterred but increasingly frustrated, Strait made several trips to Nashville, only to be turned down by every label. Facing the brink of giving up, he was offered a job designing cattle pens, a practical but unfulfilling alternative. Strait informed the band of his decision to quit music, but his wife, Norma, urged him to give it one more year. Not long after, MCA came back into the picture, signing Strait to a recording contract in February 1981. The deal was tentative, just one song to start. If it performed well, the possibility of an album would follow. His band, Ace in the Hole, remained steadfast, transitioning to become the backup and touring band for Strait's solo career. From nearly giving up to landing a record deal, George Strait's journey is a testament to perseverance, talent, and the unwavering support of those who believed in him. His story is a reminder that sometimes, just one more try can lead to monumental success. In the spring of 1981, George Strait released his first single for MCA Records, titled Unwound. The song quickly climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, setting the stage for his debut album, Straight Country. The record included other notable singles such as Down and Out, which reached number 16, and If You're Thinking You Want a Stranger, There's One Coming Home. Straight Country was hailed by critics as a new traditionalist breakthrough, breaking away from the pop-influenced country trend of the time. Strait's second album, Straight from the Heart, released in 1982, featured his first number 1 single, Full-Hearted Memory, and the top 5 hit Amarillo by Morning, originally sung and written by Terry Stafford in 1973. Amarillo by Morning would later become one of Strait's signature songs. In 1983, fate intervened when Eddie Rabbitt, the headlining star of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, fell ill with the flu. Strait stepped in and performed, marking his first appearance at the iconic Rodeo, a venue he would play more than 20 times, entertaining over 1 million fans. The 1980s saw Strait's career skyrocket with 17 number 1 hits, including a remarkable streak of 5 consecutive chart toppers from 1983 to 1984. His albums Right or Wrong and the CMA award-winning Does Fort Worth Ever Cross Your Mind solidified his place in country music. In 1985, Strait was named CMA's top male vocalist and released his first greatest hits compilation, featuring songs from his initial 3 albums. That same year, he released Something Special, his third consecutive number 1 album, which included the number 1 single The Chair. However, 1986 also brought tragedy to the Strait family. His 13-year-old daughter, Jennifer, was killed in a one-car, alcohol-unrelated accident. Despite his grief, Strait's musical output did not falter. He released 11 consecutive number 1 hits, starting with Nobody in His Right Mind Would Have Left Her in 1986 and ending with Ace in the Hole in 1989. Strait ended the decade on a high note, winning the CMA Entertainer of the Year award in 1989 and again in 1990. His journey through personal tragedy and professional triumphs illustrates his resilience and enduring impact on country music. George Strait began the 1990s with the release of his 10th studio album, Living It Up, featuring 2 number 1 hits, Love Without End, Amen, and I've Come to Expect It From You. These songs stayed at the top for 5 weeks in 1990. The following year, Chill of an Early Fall garnered positive reviews, with Entertainment Weekly noting a shift in Strait's musical approach. The album produced 2 number 1 songs, If I Know Me and You Know Me Better Than That, though it broke his streak of 31 consecutive top 10 hits with the cover Lovesick Blues, peaking at number 24. Holding My Own, released in spring 1992, didn't produce any number 1s, but included 2 top 5 songs, including So Much Like My Dad. Later in 1992, Strait starred in the film Pure Country and released the accompanying soundtrack, his most successful studio album, featuring hits like Heartland, I Cross My Heart, and When Did You Stop Loving Me. The soundtrack peaked at number 1 on the country chart and number 6 on the Billboard 200. Strait continued his success with the 1993 album Easy Come, Easy Go, featuring hits like I'd Like to Have That One Back and The Man in Love With You. His next 4 albums, Lead On 1994, Blue Clear Sky 1996, Carrying Your Love With Me 1997, and One Step at a Time 1998, all charted at number 1. Blue Clear Sky debuted at number 1, and Carrying Your Love With Me marked his first time topping the Billboard 200. Hits from this period included You Can't Make a Heart Love Somebody, Carried Away, One Night at a Time, and I Just Want to Dance With You. In 1995, Strait released a 4-disc box set, Straight Out of the Box, which included 2 new songs and became the second best-selling box set ever in the US, shipping 8 million units. Named CMA's top male vocalist in 1997 and 1998, Strait also headlined the George Strait Country Music Festival from 1997 to 2001, featuring stars like Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Strait ended the decade with Always Never the Same, 1999, peaking at number 2 on the country charts and number 6 on the Billboard 200. Hits from the album included What Do You Say to That?, Meanwhile, and the number 1 Write This Down. Reviews were mixed, but Entertainment Weekly praised Strait's ability to make even lightweight material soar. In 2000, Strait released a self-titled album, which, despite chart success, produced no number 1 singles and was his first studio album not to be certified platinum. The singles Go On and If You Can Do Anything Else peaked in the top 5. The Road Less Traveled, 2001, received positive reviews, with Rolling Stone highlighting its vocal processing and experimental nature. The album featured the hits She'll Leave You With a Smile and Living Well, both reaching the top 30 of the Billboard Hot 100. 2003 saw the release of For the Last Time, live from the Astrodome and Honky Tonkville, praised for mixing Strait's old style with his modern superstar persona. His 2004 performance at Reliant Stadium set a rodeo attendance record. The same year, he released 50 number 1s, a greatest hits package, including the new number 1 hit I Hate Everything. Somewhere Down in Texas, 2005, produced the hit You'll Be There, marking Strait's first appearance on the adult contemporary chart. His 2006 album, It Just Comes Natural, was recorded in Jimmy Buffett's Key West studio and featured 15 new songs, receiving positive reviews from People and USA Today. The album's first single, Give It Away, became a number 1 hit. In 2007, Wrapped reached number 1 on the media-based 24/7 country music charts, and Strait headlined a 23-date arena tour with Ronnie Milsap and Taylor Swift. Troubadour, 2008, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 with the single I Saw God Today, achieving the highest debut for a Strait single and becoming his 57th number 1 song in 2009. In April 2009, Strait received the Academy of Country Music's Artist of the Decade award. That June, he headlined the first event at the new Dallas Cowboys Stadium. His single Living for the Night was released in May 2009, leading the album Twang, which was certified gold. Strait's career in the 1990s and 2000s reflects a remarkable journey through continuous hits, personal tragedies, and new ventures in film and live performances, securing his legacy as one of country music's greatest icons. George Strait's journey through the last decade of his career is a testament to his unwavering dominance in country music. In 2010, Billboard crowned him the top country artist of the past 25 years, setting the stage for a remarkable decade ahead. His 2011 album Here for a Good Time delivered hits like the title track and Love's Gonna Make It Alright, adding to his tally of 59 number 1 singles. Even the lesser-charting Drinking Man couldn't overshadow his brilliance. Strait's 60th number 1 single, Give It All We Got Tonight, released in 2012 as part of Love Is Everything, marked a historic milestone in 2013, coinciding with his 60th birthday. Awards poured in, including the prestigious CMA Entertainer of the Year and Billboard's Legend of Live Honor, underscoring his unmatched influence. In 2014, Strait bid farewell to touring with a monumental concert at AT&T Stadium, where over 104,000 fans celebrated his legacy, setting attendance and revenue records. The star-studded event featured country luminaries like Jason Aldean and Miranda Lambert, immortalized in The Cowboy Rides Away, live from AT&T Stadium. Returning in 2024, Strait set a new record at Texas A&M University's Kyle Field with over 110,000 fans, reaffirming his place as a country music icon. His journey isn't just about music, it's about breaking barriers and leaving an indelible mark on generations of fans worldwide. George Strait has been actively involved in philanthropy since 2010 as the spokesperson for the Wrangler National Patriot Program, supporting veterans and their families. He became a grandfather in 2012 and owns a Gulfstream G450 jet based in San Antonio. Following Hurricane Harvey in 2017, Strait partnered with Texas Governor Greg Abbott for disaster relief efforts. He co-founded the Vaqueros del Mar Invitational Golf Tournament and Concert, raising over $5 million for wounded veterans through David Fierte's Troops First Foundation. In 2018, he was named Texan of the Year for his contributions to hurricane relief efforts. Thank you for watching. To support our channel, please subscribe.